The TNGA is what you call an ultra-endurance bikepacking race, and it begins on the Alabama-Georgia line and heads east to the Georgia-South Carolina line. Because after 16 years, the race directors decided it was time to switch things up and race it backwards. Spanning over 357 miles, the TNGA accumulates over 45,000 feet of elevation gain, which makes it a true challenge of physical, mental, and emotional endurance.
TNGA 2025. Here we go.
So we arrived in Cedartown, Georgia, the evening before the Grand Depart, and my grandpa, his dad, actually rode with us in the car and stayed the evening in the hotel with us so that he could drive the van back in the morning. And that evening when we got there, we got settled into the hotel, and then we went out and ate at a Mexican restaurant called Los Abuelos with a bunch of other fellow bikepackers. And then after that, we talked and chatted for a while and went to Walmart and got some last minute carbs before turning into the hotel for the night. Alright guys, we just ate the continental breakfast and now we're getting ready to load our bikes up on the van and head to the start line. And the sun's just starting to come up. It's all foggy out here.
The beginning of these races, and we're specifically talking about the TNGA, they're always a lot of fun because you get to really mingle and meet everybody that's going to be out there. This year the TNGA was either 96 or 97 riders, which is a pretty good amount. I think that's a little bigger than normal, maybe by 10% or something. But you know, we started at the Alabama-Georgia line, and it was cool. Everybody was packed in, and people were catching up. And I saw a lot of people that I haven't seen in a year and don't know them really well, but it was good to shake their hand and ask how they've been. And then when 8 o'clock comes around, Jeff Williams, also known as Honcho, he'll wrangle everybody up and he'll say, "All right, time to go," and everybody just kind of moseys on out, and then start spreading out and making distance, and the race is on.
Why do you look like a digital map of AI?
So people can see me.
If you'll take out your phone, I'm going to give you my number. Be used in emergencies only. Don't call me to say hello. I've already got too many calling just to say hello.
Here we go! made it to the road. How you feel?
My name's Matt, and I'm doing the TNGA. What were you saying?
I said, how are you feeling?
Good.
Good.
Ready?
Yeah.
I need to eat something. Hey, that's a good idea. Right now, some beef jerky.
All roads to Coosa. Guys, we made it into Cave Springs. It's a little town here in Georgia.
As the race started, we we had about 30 miles of pretty easy riding before we started climbing the mountain, and there was some single track there, but mostly it was road riding. It was great. It was very enjoyable. But the thing is, with single speeds, that everybody else just was gone, and we're kind of in the back of the pack, just kind of spinning away. But we knew that as the day played out, we would probably catch back up with some folks, and we did. So
those are the mountains we're heading towards. You can see them. Next little town is Coosa.
Look at this straightaway. I mean, that's like a mile and a half. Just made it to this Coosa gas station, a little Sitco, and I got me a bag of stuff. I got a Coke, some drinks and food, a little resupply here, and we're about to hit the rail trails. Those will be fun.
32 miles in. Chris Hudson right there, killing it. So, it's Kyle Rowe. Michael, what did you resupply with?
I got some Nerds Gummy Clusters, Diana sausages, M&Ms, and Coke and body armor.
Okay, I bought 2 Powerades, a thing of canned mixed fruit, canned beanie weenies, and Grandma's double chocolate chip cookie, a 2-pack, and I already ate those. This is the beloved rail trail, and I can't remember how many miles it is, but right here it's great shape. On up ahead it gets pretty thick and washed out, but it sure is beautiful. Let's pray it doesn't get too hot today.
The rail trails, they're typically pretty rough because usually, since the TNGA is the other way around, or at least we end up hitting them at night every time. And typically they have grass that's nearly knee high, and down underneath is big rocks and logs and stuff that you can't see because of grass. And it makes it even worse because it's usually at dark. But thankfully this time I think Honcho had bush hogged it.
yeah.
And so it was perfect for riding. I mean, it was great. You could see everything, and it was in the daytime, so that helped a lot. So it was really good. We had about 10 or 15 miles of rail trails. That was really nice.
It was the best time that I've ever had on the rail trail.
Yeah.
For sure.
All sweaty. We're here at the High Point Trailhead. This is a little parking lot, and we're getting ready to head straight up.
We're done with the flatland for another 40 miles. We're getting ready to go straight up, and it's gotten hot. Gonna eat some gummy bears and drink some water, take a quick breather.
90.3 degrees. We've been 47 miles, and that's what we got to climb.
Well, after the rail trail was the first real test for the day, and that's a climb up to the ridge of the first real mountain, and that's called High Point. And it was, I don't remember what time it was, maybe 10 o'clock, but the heat had really started, showing up, and everybody, I remember when we got to that trailhead, some of the guys just laid down, and they were like gasping for air, and I was hot. I mean, we were sweating, we were soaked, and we just, downed some water and ate some gummy bears and started heading up that climb. We really couldn't pedal it because we're single speed and it was really steep, but we walked it, and our walking speed with our long legs is pretty fast, and so some of these guys are in low gear spinning, and we're staying right with them, just walking.
We're at these water towers, guys, and it's so hot. So hot.
I think it feels great. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm lying. But so far I'm handling it.
Yeah.
There's a water tower, I think, right down here. I can't remember the name of this place. I want you just a snack. I've got a breakfast bar and a Powerade.
From here, the route crosses Highway 27 and it hits a section of single track and then turns into gravel roads, which is called Taylor's Ridge.
That Big Chief? Hey! Smoking hot. Yep.
It's trending out here someday.
So you're on the camera, and if you don't consent to it, we will turn it off. But how was that climb up the high point?
Terrible.
You loved it?
I'm struggling, dude.
Oh, it's hot.
That bushwhacked field just.
Oh, it was so hot, and the guys out there working with the machines.
They just wiped me out, man. And that whole climb, I was just a wreck.
We walked a bunch of it.
Yeah, I gotta just slow roll and get my head back quickly.
Yeah.
We are here on, now this is Taylor's Ridge. It's a gravel road. It's like 15 miles long. So it's gonna be fun, but getting it done. Sweating to death, but gotta do what you gotta do.
Watering hole.
Yeah. You don't want to top that up, huh?
Everybody's here getting some water. There's Mike. And there's a bunch of people here filtering, and we're gonna filter some water. Got our bottles full, ready to hit the road again.
Part of the TNGA and the lower part, but from this direction, it's our first part, the first 200 miles. It follows a trail called the Pinhoti Trail, and that Pinhoti Trail consists of the road, the rail trail, the single track on, Taylor's Ridge, and it's a pretty tough trail. I mean, when it hits single track, it gets pretty technical, and it's washed out. There's lots of roots, lots of rocks. So yeah, it's definitely a difficult trail. And eventually, you hit the terminus of the Pinhotis, and then the TNGA keeps going, and it hits gravel roads and paved roads and such.
Armuche, East Armuche Creek. No shade, hot and exposed. Might lay down in a creek.
Oh, that's gonna feel good. Guys, we stopped here at this little creek. We're gonna dip our heads in it, maybe dip our shirts in it.
What's this?
Woo. Feel good?
Yeah.
Getting ready to hit Strawberry Mountain, and after that, I don't know what mile we're at. We are at 66.27, so about 44 miles or 34 miles to Dalton. Strawberry Mountain is just like a dry, desolate wasteland. There's like hardly, well, there's trees up there, but they're pine trees and they're very sparse, it's like where they've logged it out. And then the trail's real sandy and whatnot, so it was like blazing hot up there. Oh.
This is definitely.
There we go. So we got to the first creek crossing, and there was a bunch of guys there, taking breaks and filtering water and taking their shoes off to cross the creek and put them back on. And then after that, shortly, there's another creek crossing, and thankfully it was shallow enough to where we could just pedal right through it, And after that, you got a long section of single track that I really didn't get any good videos of, but it's just kind of the same old grueling, back and forth, up and down single track, and eventually eventually it takes you out onto a gravel road. Finally off the single track onto some gravel. We're feeling dead.
We're exhausted. The heat has done us in for a little bit.
Around 7 p.m. that evening, we were feeling really tired and beat down from the heat. And so we were looking for a spot to sleep for a little bit, and we finally found a nice, cool ditch that was, you know, just kind of bare dirt in the bottom. And it was kind of moist dirt, so it was cooler than just old dry sand. And so he lay down in it, and I lay down in it, and somehow he got chiggers like crazy, and I didn't.
That means I got a sweet butt.
But we laid there for like 30 minutes, I think, and then just got back up and kept on going.
We just had to, at my request, take a snooze for about 30 minutes because this heat has just been so hard. And I think we really had some heat exhaustion. I think everybody has, all the guys. It slowed everybody down a good bit, so that was good. I feel a little better. The temperatures dropped some, and I'm about out of food though. I have got 1 Powerade and about 15 gummy bears. That's got to get me from here to Dalton. 20 more miles or something, so we'll see.
So after that break, we took off and started riding into the night. And as it got darker, we had one more pretty significant climb, and that took us up to the top of the mountain and then dropped off down into Snake Creek Gap at mile 90. And we got there around 11 p.m. that night.
When we got to Snake Creek Gap, I told Micah that I needed to rest, and I think he was ready for a break too. It was already dark, and that was a familiar spot for us because we've actually spent the night in that pitfall there before during a terrible thunderstorm. So we laid out on the side on the concrete and pulled our rain jackets over us just for a little bit of comfort and warmth, and slept on and off for about 6 hours. But
5 a.m.
But no pad, literally laying on the concrete. But I guess when you're that tired, you kind of make it work.
See that spider? It's called a Juro spider. They're everywhere out here. 6:43. We're still on the Snake, but we're making our way to Dalton. And when we get there, we're gonna get the most awesome breakfast that you've ever dreamed of in your life. I'm completely out of food. I've been rationing gummy bears, and I ate the last handful about 30 minutes ago.
22-ish miles of pavement, and that leads you over into Ramhurst and then over into Dennis Mill. And after Dennis Mill, you hop back on the Pinhoti, and that takes you on up single track into the mountains.
This is a section in between Dalton and Ramhurst. Pretty farms.
All right, we're here in Ramhurst, and we're resupplying at this Dollar General here. We're gonna get some more food and snacks for the road.
Trail Magic at Dennis Mill.
Figs. Try a fig. Yeah, look at that. It's gonna be good.
The bridge is out, so we had to cross through the creek over there. And right there in the center is a cool Land Cruiser.
So the Dennis Mill section was a welcome section for us because it finally got us back into the shade, and I knew we'd be climbing to get up to some higher elevation where the temperatures would have to be a little lower. And there's a spot through there where you come into this stand of hemlock trees, and the trail's pretty gentle. It's right before the big climb with the switchbacks, but I've always loved that place. It's kind of like enchanting, you know, big tall hemlock trees, and the sun's just barely peeking through. It's one of my favorite spots on the whole route.
Guys, it's raining like crazy all of a sudden. Falling a flood. So as we're climbing up to the top of Tatum Lead, the climb is super steep, and you know, it had been hot, and so here came the clouds, and it finally rained on us a little bit, and that was enough to get us all cooled off, and it felt really good and made the hike-a-bike and the riding much more comfortable.
We got a little shower and cooled us down some, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Look at this beautiful view.
Woo! That is the top of Tatum Lead Road.
The Potato Head Road.
What are you eating?
Sweet Baby Ray's.
Sweet Baby Ray's beef jerky.
Mm-hmm.
I'm eating some Gardetto's original recipe snack mix. Look how nasty we were. So the trail goes down after Tatum Lead and crosses a highway, and then it hits more single track, and then you got, you know, a couple miles of up and downs, and then you have one more pretty significant climb before you get to Mulberry Gap.
We made it to Mulberry Gap, and we're gonna get some food and some Gatorades and some rest for a little bit. Hey TJ.
What's up? How's it been?
Good? Hot?
So Mulberry Gap sounds like just a place on the map, but it's actually like a campground slash outfitters, and they have some bike trails there too, but they really cater to people that love to mountain bike and hike, and dual sport riders. Pretty much anybody that's coming through the Cohuttas, they'll stop there, and they offer all kinds of services for the TNGA, such as a shuttle service. They'll set up their meeting hall with cots that you can rent and do your laundry, warm meals, you name it. They've got every amenity there that you would want. You can take showers, get cleaned up, and a lot of people call it the Mulberry Trap because it feels so good to be there. A lot of people scratch. They just don't want to leave and get back out on the hard trail, and it's just because it's, you know, kind of an oasis out in the middle of this thing. So
Well guys, we are here at Mulberry Gap, and me and my dad decided we're gonna stay in a cot for, you know, just a few hours, get some rest while we have clean beds to sleep in instead of trying to sleep somewhere out on the trail. And hopefully around 11 p.m. probably, we're gonna get back up and get after it and go see if we can make it to the mountainside market by the morning. This is nice right here, real comfy. All right, we'll see y'all then. Well guys, we slept a little longer than we were going to. It's 5:30 in the morning, not 11, so just a little bit longer. It's okay. We got good sleep, so we're gonna go get back after it in the dark.
We had a good rest last night at Mulberry Gap. We both took advantage of the cots for 12 hours, $12. We slept for an undisclosed amount of time. We just discovered this huge poplar tree, and I've never seen a poplar that big except in Joyce Kilmer. And I don't know why we've never seen it before unless we're on the wrong trail. I guess coming downhill at night, you wouldn't see it. But that's massive.
Guys, I just found this wedding band. My dad was like, hey, I gotta stop and get some dirt out of my shoe, and I just stopped right here and kind of sat down on the bike, you know, and right there I just happened to see something shiny, and it was this wedding band, and it was just laying in the dirt, like covered up like halfway. I mean, you could barely see it. It was, you know, like something like that. And I just saw it and I was like, I wonder what that is. Picked it up, and it's a wedding band. It's got stuff written in like Arabic or Chinese or something.
Or Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings.
But since I stopped, I guess half of it's mine.
Okay.
Fellowship of the Ring.
Guess it's whoever's wearing it, isn't it?
You look more like Smeagol.
So after we finished Pinhoti 2 and Pinhoti 1, we rolled down into the Bear Creek trails. And somewhere, as we were climbing up through there, I was in front and he said, hey, stop, I gotta take some dirt out of my shoe. Well, I just kind of sat down on the bike, you know, just taking a rest, and I was just kind of hung my head and was looking at the ground, you know. And I got to looking and I saw some little, like just a little glimmer of something shiny over there in the leaves. And for a second I was like, I wonder what that is. And I was like, it's probably just trash, I'll just throw it away. Or I'll just leave it on the ground. And you know, I sat there for a little bit and I was like, well, I may as well pick it up. And I went to pick it up and I realized it was a ring. And lo and behold, it's the exact same ring as the Lord of the Rings ring. Like, the exact same thing. So I don't know how that got there, but it's crazy because I just thought it was a wedding ring at first. And he was like, well, that's a Lord of the Rings ring. And sure enough, we got home and it is the exact same thing. Alright guys, we are here on the gravel now, and it's all uphill from here up to Potato Patch Mountain, and after that it's a good bit of downhill and then another little climb, and then it's all downhill to Mulberry, so, or not Mulberry, Mountainside Market. So we're doing good, we're feeling good. We'll see y'all there. Oh yeah. Mountain town overlook, baby. Look at that. Look at that view. It's beautiful. Stop here and take us a quick snack break. Keep on trucking.
What mile are we at, Micah?
164.4.
It's 9:48 Monday morning. We're at Mountain Town Overlook. Check that out. Feeling pretty good. I made a mistake though. I didn't have all my water bottles filled up, and so I'm down to half of one of those and then one Gatorade. After the Mountain Town Overlook, there's another gravel climb, and then you get on what's called P0, which is the last and fairly short section of the Pinhoti Trails. It's my least favorite because usually it's really trashy, and I don't mean trash, but I mean like blow down trees and just sticks that get in your derailleur, and there's mud holes.
Super muddy.
Yeah, and it was pretty muddy this time too. But you know, after 30 or 45 minutes, we finally came out of there back on the gravel road, which was nice.
Look at this, guys. Guess what that is? The Pinhoti Trail Northern Terminus. So that means that the Pinhoti is over with. Yes.
Can't beat that.
Nope, can't beat that. After that, it's just one more short little climb up past Dyer Mountain Cemetery, and then after you pass that, it's just a little ways before you hit the top of the mountain, and then you get to roll all the way down to the Mountainside Market, which is really, really nice. We made it to the Mountainside Market. Look at that.
So we were delighted to see the Mountainside Market open, and the owner there, and I can't remember his name, but he's a super nice guy, and we both got huge meatball subs and some sodas, and it was delightful. Such a great break.
Yes. Well, guys, we are officially halfway. Right back there, pretty much the Mountainside Diner was the halfway point. But I think it was like mile 180, and the halfway point was like mile 170. I don't know, 79 or something. So it was pretty much right at the halfway point. I made a video right here on the same exact section last year, just like a little checkup of how I was feeling and whatnot. And I just thought I'd make another one just because we're right here again. Last year I was going the other way. Now we think that's a big lake up there, but we're not sure. But that's all. So after about 18 miles of road riding, you ride through Cherry Log, you come to a gravel road, and that takes you up a pretty intense climb up Davenport Mountain. And once you kind of get to the top of that gravel climb, you hit single track again, which is the Stanley Gap Trail, and it takes you up to Stanley Gap. At this point, we're both pretty tired. I feel like, especially me, I was gassed at this point, but I did not know how much of an adrenaline rush I was about to get. Look at that rattlesnake, guys. Right under the base of that tree. Holy moly. Oh, man, if he hadn't rattled, I would have hit him with my tire.
That's a fat rattlesnake. We were walking up through here, and Micah just happened to see him.
He was about halfway across the trail.
I wish I had a selfie stick.
So you could get real close to
I'll
him.
take this right to him.
Put this on a big long stick.
Hey, I could strap this to a stick with a strap.
Yeah. Here, you want this one? I ain't using it.
This right here might be. What is split?
Strap that.
Strap that side and then get over to the side, kind of.
So I can do Facebook Live. Bring it over here.
There's our homemade contraption. Is it gonna stay? Look at him hunching up. Hey, go. Yeah, there you go. There you go. How close is he gonna let you get? See if you can go right over top of him. Yes.
All right, we gotta go.
Rocky Mountain. We are at the top of this gap, or of this climb. And we've got a little downhill, a little uphill, and then downhill.
So once we crossed over the road and got onto the Aska Trail systems, we had a little bit of climbing, but then we had to descend on those trails. And a lot of it's great, but some of it is super technical and rocky, even to the point where you have to get off the bike. Because for me, with my hardtail and no dropper, I wasn't about to attempt some of those drops. I knew I'd be over the handlebars.
Yeah, me too. We just saw a fellow bikepacker go around the bend. We're on his tail. We're nipping his heels.
Yep, we're gonna catch him.
We are gonna catch him.
And we're gonna slap him and keep going. All right, you leading?
Sure. We are here at the little Iron Bridge General Store and Cafe, and we're just gonna stop down and have us some combos and Nerds gummy clusters. Well, we got a nice seat to sit on, and then we got about 15-ish miles of pavement and gravel road to get to Cooper's Creek.
We're in Aska, and this is the new Iron Bridge. Across there's the old one that we used to go across, but this one's way bigger and heavy duty with a nice bike lane. Just a few more miles to Cooper Creek store.
So after those trails are done, the next big destination is Cooper's Creek. It's super great because it's right on the route. You don't have to go any extra miles to get to it, you know. And they cater 24/7 while the race is going on to the riders, and they have awesome food there. I think I got a chicken club, and he got a lasagna. And they got a patio on the back, and we just sat out there and ate it and hung out for a while, and then went on our way. But that place is really nice. It's a great stop. Oh baby, I see Cooper's Creek store. Oh, look at that. It's beautiful.
Cooper's Creek store.
All right guys, it's like 8:30, and I was just gonna show you all these absolutely gorgeous clouds up here. The sun's done set, but it's shining off of those. Really, really pretty. But we got some nice food. I got a club sandwich, and my dad got some lasagna. So we're refueled and ready to go. So next climb is up Wolf Bend to Duncan Ridge, and it's a big gravel climb, so it's gonna be fun.
copperhead. I mean a big one too. Look at that guy.
Little pits at his nose, you see him?
Mm-hmm.
So the climb up Duncan Ridge is a really, really long climb. I think it's 8 miles long, if I'm not mistaken. And it's pretty steep there for a while, and finally towards the top it kind of levels out. But for us, thankfully, it was in the dark, and so that made it 100 times better because it was nice and cool and gave us a lot more energy, you know. And once we got to the top of Duncan Ridge, got a little bit of gravel downhill, and then you hit pavement, and man, that pavement feels so good. And you get to roll right down into Vogel State Park.
Whoop, whoop.
Good bump.
Heck yeah. I feel pretty good. All right, y'all, we are here at Vogel State Park, and there's this pavilion, and we're just gonna stop and eat some food real quick.
We just finished climbing Duncan Ridge, came down Wolf Pen, had us a snack, and it is 11:20. I think we're gonna try to make it to Helen and sleep there in a parking lot. And then in the morning, we'll make us a plan about food and finishing this thing out.
So after Vogel State Park, we took a little break, and we hit another small little road climb on the highway, and then you go down into Hatchet Creek. It's a little gravel section in between the Richard Russell Highway and that other highway. And somewhere in there, I think it was on that first road section climbing up the highway, my heart, well, not my heart, but somewhere here in my chest started like hurting, and when I would breathe in, you know, it would hurt worse. And for me, that had never happened before. I mean, I'd had like indigestion, you know, but it was completely different, and I didn't know what it was. And at the same time, it could have just been because, I mean, it was probably just because we'd ridden almost 100 miles that day, but I was feeling really, really tired, and it kind of all happened at the same time. And so we got out to the Richard Russell Highway, and I told Daddy I was gonna, you know, stop and take a break because I was just really tired. I didn't tell him that my chest was hurting at that point. So we took a break, slept for a little bit, and then got back on the road. And going up to Mulberry Gap, it was still hurting, and I was like, man, I gotta take another break. So we found a gooseneck trailer, and I laid down on the trailer, and I told him what was hurting, you know, and he was like, well, we should probably get you checked out. And so he went down and called Mulberry Gap, and then from there he called the hospital, and so they came and they checked me out, and they said that all my vitals looked good and that I was probably okay, but they said to really, really know, I would probably need to get blood work. And so we went to the hospital, and this was at like 2:30 in the morning, and they hooked me up to this crazy machine and checked everything and took my blood work, and they said I was fine, but at that point, you know, I was dead, and I really didn't think I should keep going because, you know, that was just one of those things that when it happens, and there's not really anything you can do. And I just wanted to play it safe, you know. And so my mom came and picked us up from the hospital, took us, we had stashed our bikes in the woods there, and Lee Copeland, one of our other friends, had actually stayed there while we were at the hospital. And so we got there, we loaded my bike up, and said my goodbyes to Daddy, and he went on, and I went to the house, sadly, but gotta do what you gotta do.
It's starting to get daylight. I don't know if you can see me or not, but I'm by myself. Micah got sick during the night about 1 o'clock with his heart, and we took precautions and went and got him checked out. Everything checked out good, praise the Lord. They just said he might have some pleurisy I think is how you say it, which is inflammation of the lining around your lungs and heart, which would give you that type of hurt. So anyway, I'm gonna try to stick with it and get it finished out on my own. So hang tight. Here we go. A little bit better light now. This is the rock wall, rock face. We're almost to the top of the hog pen climb. After Micah decided to go home, it was just me, and Lee Copeland was up ahead. I had a big climb up the Richard Russell Highway to get into Helen. Most of that I had to walk, but soon I was at the top, and on the descent I caught up with Lee and we rode into Helen, and by this time it was daybreak, and we got some breakfast, and then finished out the ride from there on out without any significant stops, no real sleep or anything. Had to go up Trey Mountain, which was a little different this year. It was really hard, it was really long, my feet were hurting. I had to fashion an insole out of a piece of plastic I found on the ground. Fought sleep pretty hard. Got through Wildcat, took a quick 13-minute nap. Lake Burton was beautiful, but the storms were rolling in, and got caught in a pretty big storm going up Dix Creek, which takes you to Dix Gap and the hostels on the other side. Got to the hostel soaking wet, was able to cook a pizza in their oven, take off my dry clothes, wring stuff out, and that was probably 5 o'clock in the evening let's see, that would have been on Monday evening. And Lee showed up, and then another guy, Shannon Amos. We hung out at the hostel for a bit, and then we all took off to try to finish the thing out. We had about 60 more miles, and we yo-yoed back and forth. I was a little slower on the climbs with my single speed, and I would walk, but then sometimes I would catch them on the flatter places, and eventually it ended up being Shannon and myself and Dillard, and from there we hit Darnell Creek together about, it was probably around midnight, and that's tough. Lots of blowdowns, lots of just garbage, and it's really steep, and gullies and rocks. Like sometimes your handlebars are up here and you're pushing your bike up, literally. But we finally made it up that climb, and then a series of 20 more miles of gravel road, ups and downs and mud holes, and it was great. We were enjoying the cool night air, trying to stay awake, riding fast, talking, and before we knew it, 4 o'clock rolled around and we were on the pavement and barreling down to the finish line. And when we got there, Michael was waiting on me. It was awesome.
Tuesday evening, about 5:45, I had been home and I'd been sleeping all day long. And so my mom had told me that the plan was for me to drive down to the finish line and pick him up. So I left when he had about 50-ish miles to go, probably, maybe 45. Little did I know, I got to the finish line at about 8:45, and he did not roll around until about 4:09 a.m. that morning.
Oh yeah. Congratulations.
This is Shannon. We've been riding together for the past.
Nice to meet you.
My cable broke about 12 miles in and got stuck in the smallest cog, so I'm like,
Oh gosh.
yeah, I'm like having to just,
You gotta get some pictures
oh man.
Gee, we done burned some miles up there at the end, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
It's like this road just never ended, man. It just kept going.
It's way harder this direction, I think, Micah.
Oh,
Yeah, I think so too.
I think the other one's
worse.
But that hurts.
But as soon as it dries off, it don't hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I can't tell you how much it means to me to see people watching and enjoying and learning stuff from my videos. I probably had 12 or 15 TNGA riders this year come up to me and say, man, you're that guy from those videos. Thank you so much, dude. Those helped me out so much. That's awesome. So thank you guys so much for that, and I hope you really enjoyed this video and learn something about it. And if you want to do the TNGA and you're using this as reference, I would suggest going back and watching my other 2 videos, and there's some other people that have videos out there, mainly because this year was backwards, and so all these stops and stuff are in reverse versus how the TNGA normally is. So if you're thinking about doing the TNGA, I would suggest going and watching some of those videos. That'd probably be really good. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you on the next one. And his grandpa, or his...
My dad, your grandpa.
Let me redo it. So as we were climbing up the climb to Tatum Lead, Tatum Lead.
Potato head lid. That needs to be an outtake.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Tatum lead. Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
I said Tatum Lead.
Tatum lead.
So after we finished Pinhoti 2 and Pinhoti 1, so after we left Mulberry Gap at like